Discover the amazing lives of 5 heartwarming ladies in Monaco, life-changing moments exposed. The sun sparkled off the Mediterranean, casting a golden glow on the glamorous streets of Monaco. But beneath this shimmering surface, life pulsed with a different beat for Sarah, a 34-year-old single mother. Her heart raced as she stood before the majestic yachts, a stark contrast to her reality of waiting tables and walking dogs. Behind her charming smile lay the weight of struggles and dreams, especially for her daughter Mia, an aspiring artist yearning for a canvas where her creativity could soar. Every morning started with a quiet vigil over what she wished for. Sarah tucked Mia into bed, whispering tales of hope under the moonlight. They had come to Monaco for a fresh start, chasing the elusive American dream amid the daunting hustle and glamour. Yet, with each passing day, Sarah felt the strain of economic instability tighten around her chest, her hopes like a balloon held by a child's hand, vibrant yet perilously close to slipping away. As the local arts festival approached, the town buzzed like a hive. Excitement was in the air, a palpable energy radiating from every corner. Mia thrived in this tumultuous atmosphere, her sketches echoing her vibrant imagination. Sarah often watched her daughter's fervor burn bright, igniting a fleeting warmth in her heart. The festival represented everything they desired: a space for Mia's talent to shine, a stage for dreams to unfold. Then came Linda, a retired military veteran who walked into Sarah's life like a breath of fresh air. Linda carried herself with an enduring resilience, her stories of sacrifice replete with lessons deep enough to sink into Sarah's soul. They sparked an unexpected friendship, solidified through shared laughter and harsh realities. Linda reminded Sarah that strength came from within, even in the face of heartache. Just when things seemed to align, sadness struck. A rival emerged in the form of Carla, a struggling artist who saw Mia's talent as a reflection of her lost dreams. The tension crackled between the two, leaving Sarah torn between nurturing her daughter's ambitions and navigating the bitter undercurrents of competition. They were all fighting for recognition and survival in a world that often overlooked the overlooked. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. Tensions bubbled to the surface as the festival day loomed closer, threatening the cherished community center, the heart of their gathering and hope. Sarah found herself rallying the women, including Linda, to wield their collective power for a noble cause. The stakes were high, the emotional fabric of their lives tightly woven together in the pursuit of justice. As the festival day dawned, the weight of unresolved conflict pulled like a heavy anchor. Angry words flew between the women, their vulnerabilities laid bare. "Why can't you see Mia's talent?" Carla shouted, eyes blazing with frustration. In that moment, when things seemed lost, a revelation struck. Linda's past held secrets of bravery and sacrifice that could redefine everything they each thought they knew. Amid the chatter of the crowd and the crashing waves, hope lingered in the air like the sweet scent of blooming jasmine. But could they overcome their fears and hurt? Would the tide turn for Sarah and her daughter before it was too late? The vibrant waves surged against the rocky shore, reminding them that, like the ocean, life ebbed and flowed, teetering on the edge between despair and hope. The festival day brought a sweltering sun, casting a dazzling light over Monaco. Excitement thrummed in the air, weaving through the crowd gathered at the community center. Sarah felt the weight of the world pressing down on her, her heart racing with each step she took toward the setting that had been their sanctuary. It was supposed to be a day to celebrate art, creativity, and dreams, yet tension simmered just beneath the surface. Mia stood nervously at her easel, surrounded by onlookers admiring her art. The vibrant colors danced across the canvas, mirroring her undying spirit. Yet, in the back of her mind, the shadow of Carla loomed, casting a pall over her moment. Sarah's heart sank as she watched her daughter's gentle smile falter when Carla approached, brimming with her usual bravado. "Nice work, Mia," Carla said, her voice dripped with forced sweetness. "Hope it's enough to impress the judges." A wave of unease washed over Sarah. She could see the way Carla's eyes flared with envy. What should have been a congratulatory moment turned into a battle for validation. The community center buzzed with noise as vendors shouted their wares and children laughed, but it felt distant for Sarah. Linda stepped beside her, noticing the tightness in Sarah's shoulders. "You okay?" Sarah sighed. "It's just I want this for Mia. But I don't know how to battle Carla's negativity while keeping her spirit alive." Linda placed a reassuring hand on her back, her years of struggle and resilience radiating from her. "You have to show Mia that her value doesn't come from anyone else's approval, especially not from someone like Carla. Remind her why she creates in the first place." The words struck a chord deep within Sarah. She felt the flicker of determination rise in her chest. She couldn't let Carla's animosity snuff out Mia's light. As the festival progressed, first-place trophies were awarded and artists took the stage. Sarah's palms were sweaty, her heart pounding painfully in her chest. Then it was Mia's turn to showcase her work. The crowd turned their attention to her, and for a moment, the world melted away. "Here it goes," Mia whispered, as she took a deep breath and began to speak, her voice trembling. "My art is about love, hope, and belonging." Each word poured from her heart, resonating with everyone listening. Even Carla stood still, arms crossed, attention uncharacteristically focused. But just as Mia started gaining momentum, a gasp echoed through the audience. Something remarkable was happening. A canvas had caught the crowd's eye. Linda's painting of a soldier returning home, bursting with emotion and nostalgia. It was a piece that told stories of sacrifice that went beyond military duty, drawing parallels that could touch anyone's spirit. "Why didn't you show this earlier?" Sarah murmured in astonishment. Linda smiled, the light of memories flooding her eyes. "This was my truth I needed to find again. It's never too late to share your voice." As cheers erupted for Mia's heartfelt performance, Sarah felt the angles of her world shift. Suddenly, the festival environment transformed into a crucible of emotions, an intricate tapestry of stories intertwining. Linda's bravery sparked something within her, a radical call to reclaim their narratives, overshadowed until that moment. Yet, as surprises blossomed, Sarah couldn't shake the feeling that Carla was still lurking, ready to pounce. What would it take to unite their voices in this clear bubble of revelation? Would the women find a way to turn the friction into transformation, or would fractures ruin their fragile connections? Mia stood there, catching her breath as the applause echoed around her. Each clap felt like a warm embrace, wrapping her in comfort, but her gaze flickered to Carla. The other girl's expression was hard to read. Was it envy, or perhaps something resembling appreciation? "Did you see that?" Mia asked, heart still racing. Her eyes sparkled with newfound hope. "I did. You were incredible," Sarah replied, pulling her daughter into a fierce hug. In that fleeting moment, nothing else mattered, only their bond, strengthened by the hurdles they faced. But while Mia basked in her small victory, Sarah's instinct to protect bubbled up within her. "Let us keep this energy going," she thought. "We can turn this into our power." While Mia reveled in her success, Sarah quickly spotted Linda, her heart swelling with gratitude. "You were amazing up there. I can't believe how your painting resonated with everyone," Sarah exclaimed, gripping Linda's hands tightly. The bridge of emotions seemed to swirl between them, palpable. "It was a risk," Linda confessed, her eyes shining with tears of joy. "But if we don't step up to share our truth, how will anyone else find theirs?" As they exchanged smiles of understanding, Sarah felt a surge of inspiration, a vibrant pulse of courage that seemed to ignite in the air. "We need to do more," she asserted. "What if we organized a workshop? We can help others express themselves, find their voice." "Yes. Let us invite the community to join and create something beautiful together," Linda added, her excitement growing. Mia watched the light in her mother's eyes, something she hadn't seen in a while. "Can I help, too?" she asked, bubbling with enthusiasm. "I want to teach people to paint like I do. It could be fun." "Yes, yes, yes." Sarah couldn't help but clap her hands in delight, feeling every fiber of her being entwined with joy. Look at how far we've come today. No more hiding. Just as they discussed logistics, a sharp sound cut through the air. The dull thud of applause turned to murmurs of confusion. Carla had approached the makeshift stage, a final grating note in the symphony of camaraderie. She strode toward them, confidence masking the tension. What happened? Did you all forget who is who? Her glare shot toward Mia, but this time something was different. Was that insecurity brimming beneath her bravado? Mia stood tall, the same spirit that had lit up her art affirming her presence. I'm not afraid of you, Carla, she returned, voice steady. This is about us, not you. The crowd, previously enchanted by art, now shifted back toward this newfound tension, caught between celebration and confrontation. Sarah felt a wave of protection, her heart thumping loudly in her chest. It felt like a pivotal moment, a moment where dreams could either amplify or shatter. Let us rise above this, Sarah called out, her voice ringing clear. We're stronger together. Carla, maybe you'd like to join our workshop. The crowd gasped, eyes darting between the three women. Carla blinked, momentarily thrown off. Her hardened face shifted, uncertainty creeping in. But would she accept a hand extended in goodwill, or would she let old rivalries drive a wedge between them? As anticipation suffocated the air, Sarah held her breath, wondering if convergence or conflict awaited her and Mia. Would they be able to find common ground, or was this just the beginning of a much greater battle? Carla hesitated, her bravado faltering in the face of Sarah's unexpected invitation. The whispers in the crowd swirled around her, and for the first time, uncertainty pierced her facade. Why would I want to join your little group? She snapped, but it lacked conviction. It felt more like a defensive shield than a true comeback. Mia felt her heartbeat quicken, each thump echoing louder than the last. Would Carla drop the attitude? Or would she cling to her pride? Because, Sarah replied, her voice calm and steady, we're trying to create a space where everyone can express themselves. You have such talent, Carla. Imagine what we could do together. The tension in the air shifted. Carla's eyes flickered to Mia, who stood with her chin held high, sparkling with hope. Could they really build something from this chaos? What is the catch? Carla asked, skepticism still lacing her words. No catch, Mia said, stepping forward. Just a chance for all of us to learn from one another. I know what it feels like to feel overshadowed. But art can bring us together. For a moment, Carla's defenses wavered. She glanced at Mia, seeing a glimmer of resilience in the girl who had once felt beneath her. The crowd fell silent, waiting, breaths collectively held. I need to think about it, Carla finally mumbled, her bravado fracturing even more. The walls she had carefully built around her felt surprisingly fragile in this moment. Mia smiled tentatively, understanding that change wouldn't happen overnight. We'll be here, whenever you're ready. Sarah beamed at her daughter's courage, proud of how far Mia had come. That's right. No one is rushing you, Carla. It's all about finding common ground. With that, the crowd erupted into cheers, a wave of encouragement washing over the three women. Suddenly, the earlier tension was replaced with palpable excitement, as listeners began to murmur about workshops, plans, and the unity Mia had dared to dream about. But just as a semblance of hope washed through the crowd, a distant voice broke the moment. Oh please! You really think this will last? You think just because you've had a moment of bravery, everything changes? It was Melissa, a sharp-tongued girl with a reputation for stirring trouble. Her laughter was mocking, slicing through the joy like a razor. Let us see how long this lasts. Mia felt her smile slip. One voice of doubt could unleash a flood of insecurities. Sarah squeezed her hand, grounding her. It was a gentle reminder that her daughter was not alone in this. We'll prove her wrong, Sarah whispered, her voice a fierce whisper. Right, Mia? Right, Mia replied, determination bubbling inside her. The path forward would be rocky, but it was a path worth taking. As the crowd began to disperse, a mix of hope and uncertainty lingered in the air. Carla stood off to the side, contemplation written across her features. Maybe I could help, she started to mumble, almost to herself. I hope you do, Mia said, catching her eye. That night, Mia dreamt of colors swirling together, of canvases waiting to burst into life. She could feel the weight of potential hanging in the air, but when she awoke, a question lingered with her: would the sting of doubt drown out the whispers of hope? As the sun began to rise, painting the sky in vibrant hues, Mia felt ready to face whatever came next. But little did she know, the real battle was just beginning, the battle between her dreams and the shadows of insecurities that haunted them. How could she invite everyone along this journey, including the ones who might bring more pain than support? Mia stepped out of her house, the morning sun warming her skin, yet it felt all too cool against the lingering apprehension swirling in her chest. Each step felt like a nudge toward her dreams, yet a shadow loomed, threatening to eclipse her enthusiasm. The thought of Carla possibly joining them flickered through her mind, igniting both excitement and fear. What if Carla decided to turn back, retract her half-hearted offer? As she walked to the small community center where the first workshop meeting was set to take place, Mia rehearsed her speech in her head. She wanted to convey her vision, to bring together a motley crew of artists and makers, but doubt clawed at her resolve. What if they're not interested? What if nobody shows up? She shook her head, brightening her expression. No, focus on the positive. This is your chance to make a difference, she whispered to herself, a mantra bolstering her courage. When she arrived, a few familiar faces greeted her, lively chatter bubbling up as they mingled. A glimpse of Carla's fiery red hair caught her eye by the entrance. Just as Mia's heart fluttered with hope, it was quickly pulled back down when she saw Melissa, perched on a nearby bench, tossing sneers into the mix. Look who decided to show, Melissa announced, her voice dripping with sarcasm as she tossed a judgmental glance toward Carla. The laughter of a few girls around her simmered into the air, a caustic reminder of the embedded tension. Mia took a deep breath, swallowing the eager words that begged to escape. Today wasn't going to be about Melissa or her biting remarks. She was here to create something beautiful. Suddenly, she felt a light brush on her arm. It was Sarah, smiling and with a nod of encouragement. Let us get this started, shall we? Mia stepped forward, pulling the group's attention toward her. Welcome, everyone. I'm so glad you could come today. This is about embracing our art and celebrating each other. Amidst her speech, she spied Carla, a look of deep concentration washing over her face. She was listening, actually listening, unlike the others who were already drifting off. That glimmer of warmth inside Mia radiated out, a gentle push that nudged her to be even more passionate. After Mia spoke, she invited everyone to share their ideas about art and what it meant to them. Fingers were raised, and voices began to flow. When it was Carla's turn, Mia held her breath. I have been thinking a lot about how art can be an outlet. For me, it's more of a means to yell when I want to be silent, Carla started, her voice wavering slightly. I've always hidden behind my art, it's easier that way. But maybe that's not enough anymore. A soft round of applause followed, and for a second, Mia felt fresh hope secure its hold in her heart. It was a moment of vulnerability and courage mixed, painting an encouraging picture of progress. But just as quickly, Melissa's interjection shattered that fragile moment. Wow, Carla, deep stuff. But you still think we'll take you seriously? Mia felt her stomach churn as the laughter swept through the group. She locked eyes with Carla and saw the conflict, the shadow of doubt creeping back. Enough. Mia blurted, feeling the rising tide of anger. This is not the energy we need. We're here to lift each other up, not tear each other down. The collective silence in the room felt like a weight, each person's eyes darting between Mia and Melissa, uncertainty swirling around. As Mia stood there, heart racing, she realized that her battle wasn't just against voices from the outside, it was within. Would they all come together, or would the whispers of doubt overwhelm the sounds of hope? Then, she heard Carla take a deep breath next to her. I want to try again even if it scares me. Mia's heart leaped, but a quiet voice within still asked, but can they really break the chains of their insecurities together? The air thickened with danger as another voice, more sinister, hung heavy in the air, waiting to be unleashed. Mia steadied herself, the pulse of uncertainty echoing in her ears. The collective gaze felt like a spotlight, blaring down on her. She needed to guide them out of the darkness that hovered like a dense fog. Carla set a courageous tone, she said, looking around the room. Art is powerful, and each of you has something unique to share. Let us celebrate that. Mia felt a spark ignite in her chest. Perhaps they could break through, together. She turned her attention back to the group, ready for new voices. A girl named Layla, usually quiet, began to speak. I remember when I painted my first piece. It was like finding my voice for the first time. There was a murmur of agreement, and Mia felt hope swell, but then, from the back, Melissa snickered. What a cliché. The laughter followed, rippling across the crowd like a splash of cold water. Mia's heart sank, but she couldn't let Melissa win today. She took a deep breath and silenced the room with a steady gaze. This isn't about being perfect or profound. It's about discovering ourselves. Let us not judge, but instead embrace and encourage. As she spoke, she felt the tension ebb away, replaced by a fragile connection forming among them. Exactly. Carla chimed in, her eyes glinting with defiance. I'm here because I want to find a space where I don't have to hide. Let us build that together. Mia could see a fire igniting in Carla's spirit, and it lit a flame in Mia too. A couple of others joined in. Greg talked about how art helped him cope with loss, and Anna shared how creating jewelry connected her to her late grandmother. With each story, Melissa's derisive expressions faded, overshadowed by the sincerity filling the room, but her pulse quickened again when she saw Melissa stir. Aren't we being a bit melodramatic? She sneered, her voice cutting through the warmth like a knife. Let us be real here. This isn't some therapy session. This is art. A hush fell over the group as a murmur of uncertainty swept through. Mia flared with a blend of anger and sadness. She had fought so hard to protect the budding trust they were building. Melissa, she said, attempting to keep her voice calm, art is about vulnerability. It's about the real stuff, emotions, life experiences. If we can't be honest here, then what is the point? Mia could feel the tension snap back. She watched as a few others nodded, their eyes filled with renewed determination. Suddenly, Carla stood, her face resolute. I'm done being silent. I'm tired of hiding behind this facade that I'm okay when I'm not. I want to express what sits heavy in my heart, even if it's uncomfortable. Mia felt the weight of those words settle like gold dust. It was a call to action, powerful and raw. But would others find the courage to follow? The room filled with murmurs of agreement, but Melissa sat back, digging her nails into the edge of the bench, her expression a blend of irritation and something deeper that Mia couldn't quite place. As the vibe shifted, Mia's heart raced. She felt invincible yet precarious. This workshop was no longer just about art, it was about tearing down the walls they hid behind. Could they continue to foster this atmosphere of honesty? Before she could ponder further, someone found their voice again. It was Sarah. Let us channel this energy into our next project. I propose we create a group piece that conveys our collective truths. Applause erupted, and Mia smiled brightly, but a sliver of doubt threaded through her joy. Would they follow the thread of vulnerability or retreat into the shadows once more? As excitement swelled, the air danced with possibility, but the tension from Melissa's demeanor gnawed at the edge of Mia's thoughts, a potential storm waiting to burst. With a fresh idea brewing, she stood at the center, feeling the weight of their hopes balanced on her shoulders. Let us not just share art. Let us create a masterpiece of who we are, together. But would Melissa let them thrive, or was this just the beginning of an uphill battle against cynicism? Mia glanced around the room, feeling the thrill of hope crackling in the air. Every face sparked with newfound determination. It was as if they were all leaning into the light of possibility that had been dimmed for too long. But deep down, a nagging weight pulled at her, Melissa, arms crossed, still simmering in her seat. What storm was brewing beneath the surface? All right, let us brainstorm how we can incorporate everyone's stories into this group piece, she urged, pushing forward, eager to weave their collective narratives into something beautiful. Layla's eyes brightened. How about each of us brings a small piece of art that represents our story? Great idea. Carla encouraged, leaning forward. We could connect our pieces together, like a tapestry of experiences. Or, we could use words alongside our visuals. Greg added enthusiastically. Like poetry. It could give voice to our emotions. As they buzzed with excitement, Mia felt a swell of pride. This felt like the moment she had hoped for a genuine collaboration. But then there was Melissa, who huffed with disdain. A tapestry. Really? That sounds like a kindergarten project, she scoffed, but her voice seemed to falter slightly. Melissa, please, Mia said, trying to maintain the harmony she had seen begin to blossom. This is about understanding and connection. Maybe try to see the beauty in what we're all creating together. Why should I? If I can't simply paint what I feel, what is the point? Melissa replied, her tone sharper than before. A silence loomed, and Mia felt the air thicken. Melissa's defiance had an odd sting. It felt like she was pitting herself against something deeper than just art. Look, Mia said, her own voice rising a notch. Maybe this workshop isn't for everyone, but for those of us willing to share, it's about taking the leap into vulnerability. It's not just art, it's healing. More nods followed her words, and a look of uncertainty flickered across Melissa's face. Mia took a breath. This was the moment to delve deeper. What's holding you back, Melissa? We want to hear your voice too. For the first time, Melissa seemed taken aback. I don't know, she faltered, and for a brief second, Mia caught a glimpse of something like fear behind Melissa's bravado. Mia had to press on gently, even if it feels uncomfortable. This is a safe space. She could feel the weight of the room shift as everyone held their breath, waiting for Melissa to respond. Fine, Melissa said finally, almost too quiet to hear. I guess I'm just tired of pretending I'm someone I'm not. A collective sigh followed, and Mia saw the fence around Melissa begin to crack. The weight of expectation seemed to lift a bit. That's a start, Mia encouraged, smiling softly. Maybe your truth could inspire someone else. You never know how much your experience might resonate. Melissa glanced down, her shoulders deflating somewhat. Let us lift each other up instead of tearing down, Mia added. We can all grow through this, but it means we have to listen too, including you, Melissa. And just like that, there was movement. It was subtle, but it was there. All right, Melissa muttered, her voice still edged with skepticism. I'll try. Just then, a flutter of excitement washed over the group. Let's South meet at the park tomorrow for our first brainstorming session featuring everyone's ideas. Sarah exclaimed, her energy electric. We can draw inspiration from nature or bring in our favorite materials. Mia felt a spark within her heart again, flourishing with each tentative step toward acceptance. This was more than just a project now, it was a potential turning point. It could be a moment of transformation for them all. But as they began chatting about logistics, a sneaking worry whispered through her thoughts. Was this breakthrough merely a fragile facade? As they dispersed, Mia caught Melissa's eye one last time. There was a fleeting flicker of vulnerability there, hidden in the familiar defiance. Mia longed to explore it, yet they had crossed a threshold. What was the real story behind Melissa's walls, and could this workshop truly bring them all together? With determination cemented in her chest, Mia resolved to find out. The next morning, the sun spilled golden light over the park. Leaves rustled in the soft breeze, and there was a sense of fresh beginnings hanging in the air. Mia arrived early, her heart racing with anticipation. Today was more than just planning, it was about diving deeper into their stories, unraveling their truths. As she set up a few picnic blankets under a sprawling oak tree, other members trickled in. First was Layla, her canvas bag slung over her shoulder, brimming with art supplies. I brought some paints and brushes. I can't wait to see everyone's pieces, she exclaimed, her enthusiasm infectious. Awesome, Layla. Mia replied, her own excitement bubbling over. Collectively, they were about to shape something profound. Carla arrived next, carrying a scrapbook. As she joined them, the laughter started to flow. I printed some photos for inspiration, each has a story. She flipped through the pages, and each snapshot revealed a moment of joy, love, heartbreak, and courage. Together, they reflected the mosaic of their lives. Just then, Mia felt her breath hitch as she spotted Melissa approaching. She looked different today, no crossed arms or scowls. Instead, a determined look resided in her eyes, a hint of vulnerability mingled with steely resolve. Hey, Melissa said, her voice steadier than yesterday. I brought some sketches I did last night. I figured it was time. Mia's heart swelled with pride. That's fantastic, Melissa. We're excited to see them. As they all settled around the blankets, the air was thick with nervous energy. Mia started the session with an icebreaker. Let us share a piece of our story, and then we can brainstorm how to connect everything. One by one, they opened up. Layla talked about her struggles with anxiety and how painting was her escape. Carla shared the story of her family's migration and how art had been a bridge between her past and present. Then came Greg, who, despite his quiet persona, spoke of terrible loss. His father had passed away last year, and he hadn't picked up a brush since. Listening to him, tears pooled in Mia's eyes. His honesty struck deep, and it made everyone feel nearer to each other. Mia glanced at Melissa, nervous yet hopeful. What about you, Melissa? Melissa took a deep breath, her fingers brushing against the edges of her sketchbook. I guess I just never felt like I fit in. I've always kept people at a distance so they wouldn't see how lost I felt inside. They listened intently as she continued, finding the courage to share the parts of herself that she kept hidden: her dreams of becoming an artist, her feelings of inadequacy, her fear of judgment. Mia noticed a quiet transformation amongst the group. They were not just sharing art ideas, they were stitching their hearts together, unraveling the knots that had bound them in silence. I'm nervous about sharing my sketches, Melissa said, her voice trembling slightly. But I want to be part of this. The air shimmered with the weight of her admission. Show us, Mia encouraged, feeling the tide of camaraderie build. Melissa opened her sketchbook, revealing raw, unique artwork that spilled her story onto the pages. Tentative gasps drew attention as each piece emerged, vibrant and heartfelt. They felt Melissa's fears, her yearnings. It was as if they were peeling back layers of understanding. It's beautiful, Carla whispered, wiping a tear from her cheek. The moment was electric, charged with connection and tenderness. Each person was a thread in a tapestry far richer than they could have imagined. Just then, Sarah pointed out across the park. Look! That tree looks like it has stories to tell. Let us draw inspiration from it. Mia turned her gaze to the towering oak, its rough bark telling tales of years past, its branches reaching into the sky. What other truths would they uncover together? As they gathered around the tree, thoughts swirling in their heads, Mia sensed the potential for something greater: a breakthrough, a moment of shared understanding that could reshape them all. But what if some truths were harder to unearth than others, buried beneath the surface? Mia felt the buzz of anticipation in the air as they gathered around the oak tree. Each member seemed to radiate a unique energy. The tree loomed above them, a silent witness to everything that had been shared and what was yet to come. Let us take a moment to really look at it, Mia suggested, closing her eyes for a second, allowing the soft rustling of the leaves to wrap around her. Imagine the stories it could tell. Layla knelt beside her and hesitated. What if we draw it? Each of us can capture how it makes us feel. Her eyes gleamed with excitement. Greg nodded. That's a great idea. We can use it as a springboard for our own stories. Mia opened her sketchbook, ready to begin, but paused to soak in the others' reactions. It was the perfect moment for her to guide them toward a deeper, more personal exploration. Before we put pencil to paper, she said softly, let us dig a little deeper. How does this tree relate to us? What has rooted us in our own lives? What do we need to let go of to grow? She waited, sensing the weight of her words. Melissa looked thoughtful, her dark brows drawing together. I think I need to let go of my fear of judgment, she finally admitted. It stops me from expressing myself. I get that, Carla chimed in. Sometimes, I find it hard not to worry about what people think, even when I'm just trying to create. They continued sharing, voices growing more confident with each revelation. Layla spoke of ambitions dimmed by self-doubt, while Greg uncovered layers of grief that blocked his creativity. Mia felt a surge of warmth. Each voice added another thread to their shared tapestry. They were creating a safe space, a cocoon where vulnerability could flourish. Look how far we've come, she said softly, gazing at the sketches drawn by her friends, each one vibrant with emotion and truth. Art is more than just paint or pencils. It's about connecting our stories. What if we each added a little piece of ourselves to this tree, figuratively speaking? As they began sketching, the sun climbed higher, casting golden flecks through the leaves. Laughter and whispers blended together in a beautiful symphony. Layla's strokes were free and colorful, Melissa's were bold and daring. But as time passed, Mia noticed a shift. Greg sat quietly, pencil hovering just above the page. He looked lost, the laughter around him fading into a distant hum. Greg? Mia asked gently, her heart fluttering with concern. What's going on? His shoulders slumped, and he sighed. I want to say something. But I'm afraid that sharing will just bring back the pain. The group fell silent, sensing the weight of his struggle. Pain can sometimes be the catalyst for healing, Mia whispered. You don't have to share everything, but what you do say can resonate with others. Greg took a deep breath, as though summoning strength from deep within. My father, he loved trees. Whenever it was a tough day, we'd take a walk and he'd tell me that everything grows stronger from the roots up. His voice cracked, but he pressed on. Since he died, I feel lost. The thought of moving beyond that, it terrifies me. Melissa shifted closer, her eyes shimmering with empathy. You're not alone, Greg. We all have roots holding us back, don't we? Mia could see their connection solidify, and she felt hope swell inside her. Let us use this tree as a reminder. We can acknowledge our roots, but we can also reach for the sky. As they sketched and shared, Mia knew they were on the brink of something transformative. Healing wasn't just about the individual, it was found in community and shared experiences. But just as the conversation flowed back into laughter and sketches, the sound of a voice broke through the joyous air, pulling them back to reality. Excuse me, is this an art project? A stranger stood at the edge of their gathering, curiosity painted across her face. Mia exchanged glances with her friends, excitement crackling in the air. Who was she? And what could she bring into their circle? As the newcomer stepped forward, ready to join their circle, Mia felt a rush of possibilities. But would this stranger bring more stories to uncover, or would she stir up even deeper truths? The crowd stirred, eyes fixed on the newcomer as she approached with a warm smile. Dressed in a flowing sundress, her spirit seemed to blend effortlessly with the vibrant energy of the group. I'm Tara, she introduced herself, her voice light but firm. I couldn't help but overhear. Is this a workshop? Mia's heart raced with both excitement and nervousness. Tara's presence felt like an invitation to expand their circle, yet she wondered how this would unfold. Yes. We're creating a community piece that reflects our stories through art, Mia replied, her enthusiasm contagious. Wow, that sounds incredible. Tara grinned, and Mia felt a rush of reassurance. Perhaps this was just what they needed, a fresh voice, an additional piece of the puzzle. Oh, really? I used to paint all the time. Tara said, her eyes sparkling as she took a seat on the blanket. But I haven't touched a brush in years. Life just got busy. As everyone else nodded, Mia felt an urge to dig deeper, sensing another thread being woven into their tapestry of stories. "What brought you to art?" she asked, genuinely curious. Tara hesitated for a moment, and the group caught their breath. "When I lost my grandmother, I felt so empty. She always encouraged me to pursue my creativity. I guess I just didn't feel like I could live up to that anymore." There were gasps as Tara's voice trembled, the weight of sorrow hovering in the air. "Art can be healing," Layla chimed in, her voice thick with understanding. "We all have those moments where we feel lost. Like Mia said, it's about reconnecting with who we are." Mia could see the tension in Tara's shoulders ease as the warmth of acceptance wrapped around her. "I'd love to give it another shot," she finally smiled, inspired by their openness. As they began sketching again, Mia felt the collective energy surge. The dark clouds of self-doubt seemed to be dissipating, light shining through. Each brushstroke felt more authentic, more liberated. They were blending not just colors, but also emotions, experiences, and dreams. But amidst this blossoming connection, the echoes of doubt still lingered, whispering in the back of Mia's mind. What if the promise of community faltered once the initial excitement wore off? Just as that thought sliced through, Greg raised his eyes from his sketch. "You know, it's so easy to get caught up in our fears about sharing. But I think I finally understand that vulnerability doesn't mean weakness, it means showing strength through our truth." "Exactly." Carla jumped in, her voice brimming with newfound confidence. "We're creating something together, and it can only thrive if we keep things real." Mia's heart swelled with pride, but then she spotted Melissa leaning back, her arms crossed again. A flicker of doubt crossed her face, but then it vanished just as quickly. "Melissa, how do you feel about what we're doing?" Mia asked, trying to draw her into the conversation. Melissa's eyes narrowed slightly as everyone looked on. "I've always been the lone wolf, relying on my own vision. But being here, surrounded by all your stories, it's kind of terrifying." "Terrifying but so rewarding," Mia encouraged gently. "You've shown bravery by bringing your sketches today. We are all here to support one another." Melissa's expression softened for a moment, and Mia saw a glimpse of the vulnerability she had previously hidden under her bravado. "Maybe I need to let go of needing to be in control all the time." "Yes. Yes." Tara beamed, "Let us lift each other up instead of competing. We all have something beautiful to bring to the table." With that, the flicker of connection that had built all day ignited into a blaze. Each of them went back to their sketches, layers upon layers of their lives coming together, creating a vibrant patchwork of raw but beautiful stories. As the sun dipped lower in the sky, casting golden hues around them, Mia felt an overwhelming swell of pride for the small family of artists they had built together. "This feels like just the beginning," Mia said. "What if we kept meeting, kept sharing? We could grow so much from this." The group erupted in murmurs of excitement, suggesting ideas for future workshops, exhibitions, and collaborations, a bubbling fountain of possibility weaving through them. But a familiar call rose from Melissa's lips, stopping everyone mid-sentence. "What if we also invite others?" she asked, her brow furrowing in earnest. "If we can break through all these walls, think about how many more stories are waiting to be told." Tears sprung to Mia's eyes, a full heart spilling over with the beauty of it all. "That's exactly it, Melissa. We can make our circle bigger. Let us not only embrace our truths but also share our space, our voices, with those who feel the same longing." The group nodded, a chorus of hope rising to fill the open air. "We could even organize a community showcase," Greg suggested, and the energy surged once more, an electric current of inspiration melding into the space. Mia felt her worries fly away like petals in the wind. They hadn't just carved out steep ambitions, they formed a new family grounded in compassion and creativity. This was the turning point, a transformation of not just individuals, but of a community committed to finding beauty amidst pain. As the day concluded, laughter danced through the group like sunlight. There was still uncertainty about what lay ahead, but now they knew they would traverse this path together. They'd stand hand in hand, hearts laid bare, ready to embrace whatever came next. They had truly discovered the transformative power of art and, in doing so, finally learned to rise above the fears that once whispered for them to shy away. As they shared plans and dreams, it was clear they weren't just artists anymore. They were a family united by the vulnerabilities that made them human, and with eager hearts and eyes shining bright, the journey of truth and healing had just begun. If you felt inspired by this story, you need to subscribe immediately to the channel so you don't miss the next exclusive tales that capture your heart. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and keep these stories alive. And don't wait not even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. Join us in spreading hope and inspiration. Comment below with your reactions and feelings. Let's keep this conversation going.